What if I told you that I found Leonardo DiCaprio, the Wolf of Wall Street, in the most random Chinese used car advertisement? Here you go.
Around 1 million cars are scrapped each year. As one of the largest e-commerce enterprises helping build a more sustainable future, Uxin uses data and technology to help millions of families find a pre-owned car for a healthier environment.
So what is Uxin? Okay, so Uxin is a online used car dealer. It is based out of China, and the company's mission is to enable people to buy the car of their choice online. We want to look at the three things that they are tackling. What problem is this business solving? The first one is that there is a limited access to a wide selection of used cars. So actually in China, the used car market, 80% of it is made up of small SMEs, mom and pop shops that have on average 30 cars in inventory. So that's not a lot of selection. That's the first part. The second problem is that there is an inconvenience in buying used cars from other cities and regions and getting them delivered. China is a massive country, and the sheer scale of it is actually a nightmare logistically. There is also a lack of transparency and reliability regarding the car's condition, as well as the transaction process. So these three problems are what Uxin is trying to tackle. It has two components to the business. The first is an online platform. Okay, this online platform is going to be the customer-facing app that ensures consumers have access to not only a nationwide selection of used cars, but also to a wide range of value-added products and services. And it has an offline infrastructure. Okay, and this network essentially allows the company to fulfill the orders made on the platform and to deliver the cars, as well as do car inspection, car buying consulting, car delivery, title transfers, and other after-sales services. And all of this is underpinned by its proprietary technology and data analytics. What you need to know about Uxin is that they have actually just implemented a massive strategic transformation that has actually changed everything about the company and why I'm so bullish about it. Okay, and this is basically that they've switched to an inventory owning model. Okay, so they now own the cars that are on their platform. They are not reliant on third parties, on a external supply chain, and they have full control over the entire service chain as well as supply chain. So this is changing everything, and we're gonna see a bit more about that in the financials. Let's look at the management. Kundai, founder, CEO, and chairman of the board. Over 10 years in the internet and automobile industry, so that's good. He founded one of China's first online used car websites, and he actually used to work at BitAuto. For those of you that don't know, this is very good because BitAuto was the company that was co-founded by Li Bin, who is the founder and CEO of NIO. And if you don't know, NIO is one of the hottest stocks on Wall Street. It is one of the best performing companies based out of China. And the fact that he has a direct relationship with Li Bin from his BitAuto days as a VP is a very good hint that there might be a partnership in the future. Who knows? Another good thing to see here is that the COO actually, same thing, used to be at BitAuto. Okay, this is the BitAuto mafia. The same way that you have the PayPal mafia, you have the BitAuto mafia. Another one. This CFO, he was at HSBC, PwC, Capital One, and then he went to work for Microsoft and Lenovo. And just to top it all off, he has a double bachelor's in geophysics and economics, and an MBA and an MPP from the University of Chicago. That is a rock solid CV. So overall, the management seemed to be pretty sound. Okay, they know what they're doing. They're not winging it. Next thing that we want to see is how have they been doing? So these are the financial results for the third quarter of the fiscal year 2021. For Uxin, there is a very interesting picture being painted here, and that's because of the transformation to the inventory owning model. And 99% of the transaction volume has now from the company's own inventory. Okay, the total revenues last quarter, they were 76.4 million renminbi. This quarter, they were 323 million renminbi. So this is a 400% plus increase in revenue, quarter over quarter. And this is because of the inventory owning model, where the revenue is being classified differently and the costs and expenses are also being classified differently, and this is changing everything. However, what's interesting here is that the same period last year, the company did 466 million renminbi in revenue. So this was back before COVID. So this drop from 466 to 76 was due to the complete shutdown of retail, right? This is a used car dealer, and retail was actually the hardest hit industry in China and in the rest of the world. And so we can see here that from that 76, they have picked up the pace very quickly. From one quarter, they increased 400%. The gross margin is the same story. This time last year, they had a positive 59% gross margin, and then it tanked because of COVID to a negative 22.4%. And now this quarter, they were up 2.9% in the positive. So again, we've seen the bottom, and now they're going up very quickly. And the gross margin is expected to rise in the coming quarters thanks to this transformation. So financially speaking, we've seen the worst that they can do, and now they are very much climbing their way up again. And a very, very, very interesting news is that they have entered into a strategic partnership with JD.com. So if you don't know what that is, JD.com is one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the world, and especially in China. They have more than 470 million users. Okay, so that is an audience that Uxin has managed to secure to launch a self-operated online store for used car transaction through JD's platform. This is an amazing partnership. This is one of the best partnerships Uxin could have secured, and this has been a major catalyst for the price movement that we've been seeing over the last month or so. Another very interesting news is that there has been a binding term sheet by two well-established Asian funds. They're potentially investing up to $300 million. Tread lightly because this isn't secured. They haven't invested yet. Okay, they have entered into a binding term sheet, which is a very strong sign, but they haven't yet signed. Okay, and so what's good here is that these investors have expressed strong belief in the potential of China's used car markets. Okay, they've acknowledged Uxin's leading market position, strong branding, and the capacity to provide high quality cars and services to their customers. Okay, so these are all very positive developments from the last quarter. And this management team, they've been doing a very good work. We need to understand what waters Uxin is swimming in. And so we need to look at the market. China is the largest auto market in the world. Okay, as you can see here, these are the number of new car registrations in millions last year in 2020 during COVID. 19 million cars registered in China. The United States, 14, Europe, 11. So clearly China is doing, I mean, the market itself is very promising. It's bigger than the European continents. But this doesn't differentiate between used cars and new cars, okay? These are just cars in general being registered. What we need to understand is that the used car market itself is growing very quickly, and it's gonna hit $2 trillion by 2027. This is a market that is going to be massive 6 years from now. And in the US, the used car market is actually twice the size of the new car market. And the growth is actually far outpacing the new car market as well. So for us, China is what matters. And in China, there is a massive boost to build a $300 billion used car market from scratch. Okay, this is something that the government is pushing very hard on. And we can see this through the policies. Look at this. Beijing has slashed taxes on used car dealers, reducing the levy to 0.5% from 3%. So already the tax was low, but now it's almost to nothing. And the tax on new vehicles is at 17%. So this is a massive economic incentive for consumers to buy like new used cars from Uxin that are being refurbished through its fulfillment centers. Beijing is also making it easier for dealers to trade used cars among themselves by classifying a second-hand vehicle without a license plate as a commodity rather than a personal asset. This is simplifying the entire transaction. And so, this is something that we can see as being a very positive movement for any industry. When the government is stepping in with these kinds of policies, we're going to see an upside. We will see more positive policies in this area, okay? But there's something that you need to know, is that the overall market in China is still very young, okay? there's what, 173 people that own a car per 1,000 people. In the US, that is 837. Okay, in Japan, so in Asia, 591. In Malaysia, 433. So China is very much lagging as a market, okay? It's still very young. And so that's why there is such a push from the government to boost this. And this article actually highlights a very good reason here that this is going to change, okay? Culturally speaking, in China, buying a first car or first home was typically a big deal. It was a declaration of social status, that the whole family had arrived. And this is shifting. This mindset, the consumers, like all over the world, are younger. And so they are less likely to embrace the traditional customs of the older generation, which was to, you know, save face by having nice possessions, by showing wealth. Parents would rather get an older apartment near a good school than a brand new one farther out. And so we're going to see the same thing here with cars. The new consumer, the millennials in China, the Generation Z, these consumers are going to want to look for value for their money. And so this is where used cars make more economic sense, for example. Another thing that's very interesting about the market is that it's actually a very good market when it comes to market shocks, okay? McKinsey actually has a very good article about this. The used car market is less susceptible to market shocks. So the blue line here is new cars sales. And this here are used car sales. And as you can see here, whenever there's a market shock, here high inflation, rising interest rates, new car sales were down 24%. Used car sales were down 11%. Okay, that is a 50% difference. Same thing here in the dot-com bubble. This was down 2%. The used cars only 1%. In the 2008 crash, new cars were down 43%. And used cars were down 20%. So clearly, used car sales are actually a relatively safe, counter-cyclical industry to have your money in compared to new car sales. They're less likely to be prone to volatility. And so because the market in China is so new, we need to understand that there are no competitors that we can compare Uxin with. So we have to look a bit further out. We have to look at the closest peers internationally. And so those would be Carvana, Vroom, Kazoo. How are these companies doing? Carvana is a $40 billion market cap company with a $226 stock price. Okay, this is the same inventory owning business model as Uxin. And look at this performance. 900% since 2020, since last year. And overall, I mean, this trend is very positive. More than 1,000%. Let's look at Vroom. This stock is $5 billion market cap with a $41 stock price. $5 billion, $41. Kazoo, not public yet, but listing through a SPAC. And this will be a $7 billion business once it's public. And this is a company that was founded in 2018. It is a 3-year-old company that is not only going public, but it has been growing 300% year over year and approaching $1 billion in revenue after 3 years. That is insane. Used car companies have been doing very well all over the world. Let's look at Uxin. It is a $965 million market cap with a $3 stock price. There is upside here. Okay, the stock itself had a very poor performance. It went public at $9 and then it just got crushed. It went down 90% over 5 years. And this year is where we're seeing some uptick because last quarter they changed their entire business model to an inventory owning model. So the stock has been up almost 200%, more than 200%. I entered the company here around the $1.10 mark and I keep adding. This is a long-term play for me, and 5 years from now, 6 years from now, in 2027, I'm pretty sure they'll be doing much more than a 900 million market cap. This is not financial advice, okay? You need to make your own due diligence. This is mine. I hope it helps. You need to understand that this is purely for entertainment purposes. Okay, so I'd love for you to tell me what you thought about the video in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video so you can be notified for any future videos. I'll see you in the next one, guys.